Now, the long-running court battle between Karima Abdul Razak Tayob in her capacity as executrix of the estate of the late Abdul Razak Tayob Surtie and Edward Jeffrey Koornabanally against the Public Investment Corporation of 1.35 trillion rand has once again surfaced. Now, this after the United Democratic Movement President Bantu Holomisa wrote a letter to Parliament's Standing Committee on Public Accounts raising his concerns that the government employees' pension funds might be at a risk of being misappropriated. Now, this is in relation to a matter that goes back to the early 1980s inheritance payment. We've got the General Bantu Holomisa on the line with us to quickly just talk about this issue, which is a massive sum of money and involves some massive names. But, General, thank you very much for joining us. It's good to have you on the program. Let's get a bit of background on this case, because perhaps some people are hearing about this claim against the Public Investment Corporation and ABSA Group Limited, along with others, for an amount of 1.35 trillion rand. Talk to us about this.
Well, this is as a result of what was contained in the media beginning of January, where there were allegations that the PIC funds are not safe. But I'm not going to waste your time. And I wrote to the leader of the CEO of the PIC, the CEO of GEPF, and they replied and say everything is safe. Then we mustn't worry. There's no threat to these claims. These claims are flying around are not to be taken seriously. But somebody approached my office and said, have you seen that this matter is in court in actual fact, and the government or the PIC is not denying that there is this claim, including the GEPF? And then I said, all right, can you give me some information? Then they brought the court papers to me. Hence now I have returned back to the PIC and say, why were you misleading me at the time I was inquiring about these funds? What do you say on this? And so the current CEO, Mr. Koza, has replied to these claims, and he is not denying the fact that there is this claim, but he is worried that if this money is paid to these people, that would leave PIC bankrupt or affect the government. Then the people are coming back in papers to say, but you are not telling the truth. You have the money, you have also the money in the following institutions. What are you talking about? So it is at that stage. Now I've asked Minister of Finance, Public Scopa, to verify the authenticity or otherwise of these documents, and whether the pensions of the civil servants in this country is safe. That's what we want.
Yeah. I mean, this is massive. I mean, when you look at the GDP of South Africa, I mean, we're talking about, what, 4-point-something trillion rand? That's what our GDP is. This is valued at 1.35 trillion rand, and of course this is interest that's accumulated over the years, and this, I imagine, must be considered as one of the biggest claims made by individuals against South African management firms and a bank. I mean, but besides the PIC, there's a lot of other listed parties in this. I mean, if I can read them, and perhaps you can just give us a bit more detail on this. We're reading about the South African Reserve Bank, in particular financial markets that are state-owned, the PIC, as we've mentioned, the CPD, which is the Corporation of Public Deposits, Barclays Bank, ABSA Group, and then, of course, the individuals named in this, former Finance Minister Trevor Manuel, Pravin Gordhan, Tito Mboweni, Jill Marcus, Maria Ramos, Lesetja Kganyago, Lungisa Fuzile, Daniel Mnele, Yohanda Yaga, Yunus Karim, Temba Godi, and Baleka Mbete, who was the Speaker of the Parliament at that time. I mean, these are the names that are also mentioned in this.
Well, I'm not even interested in that part. What I would advise you to do is to call the CEO of PIC and GEPF, as well as representative of the National Treasury, as well as the people who are claiming representative. Then you beam it to the public and say, is it true that you are in court? Can you can you confirm the stamp of the court and court case number so and so in Western Cape? Then you will catch the thieves.
Well, that's certainly something I think we do need to have a look at. But I mean, if this is, I mean, last year the Gauteng High Court evaluated all of the facts of this case, and the judgment was made. Why is it currently significant now?
Well, it is significant because in some instances, the people who are claiming their pensions who have not been paid are saying, where is our money? And I've been assisting a lot of South Africans on this issue. You will find a case where someone was employed in the early 70s, 80s. When he or she takes a retirement now, then he or she is told that your pension will be calculated only from 1996. What about her or his contribution prior 1994? Then there's something fishy there.
Yeah. This is a great worry, General, and certainly something that I think we need to get into. But I mean, just a final question as I let you go, because I realize that these are issues that we need to take to the PIC and we need to look further into it. But if paid, how could it cripple the PIC's fund management portfolio and have an effect on the current fiscal and national economy?
There's no doubt it would harm the PIC and the economy of the country. Already, the PIC is claiming that it has got 2.1 trillion rands in their kitty. But these lawyers or the court papers are saying, you're not telling the South Africans the truth. What about the monies you have invested in the following institutions? What about the monies you have invested to other people, to the unlisted companies? Bear in mind that they've written off many billions of rands, the GEPF, the PIC, for the people who have not failed to service their loans.
All right, General, we'll leave it there. Let's leave it there for this morning. I know that you're off into a meeting as well, but this is certainly a great starting point for us. Just finally, General, sorry, I know in the beginning of the interview you said you had written to the Standing Committee on Public Accounts to request a thorough briefing on the entire matter. Have you heard from them at all? Is this on the agenda to be discussed?
No, the letter we sent to the SCOPA yesterday, so it's still too early.
All right, so this was sent yesterday. General, thank you. That, of course, is...
Thank you very much.
This was Bantu Holomisa, the United Democratic Movement president, talking to us about 1.35 trillion rand claim that was brought against the PIC and Absa Group Limited by Karima Abdul Razak Tayob NO in her capacity as executrix of the estate of the late Abdul Razak Tayob Surtie, with the second plaintiff named in the court papers as Edward Jeffrey Koornabanally. So that's where we'll leave this, and certainly keep trying to dig deeper into this to find out from the PIC what their response is to this matter.